morning, guys. I just woke up. It's 6:30. It's about, let me guess, it's about 13 degrees outside Celsius. I don't know why, but I did expect to sleep much better than I did. No one told me that putting up a tent on a mountain is not the most comfortable. And this like sleeping mat that I have, it's not nice at all. But I'm definitely not here to complain. We're at a beautiful lake just by the border to Norway. Apparently, across the lake here is Norway. And there is a rock that's called the border rock that we need to check out. So it's a rock that just states that this is the border to Norway. This is gonna sound bad, but I didn't expect to not have any internet at all. I can't call anyone, I can't text anyone, I can't post a story, I can't do anything. So doing these adventures while being a motorcycle influencer, it's tough, man. It's tough, okay? Let's get going. And you know, I might have some questionable trip because I didn't bring any other pants except my motorcycle pants and my swimming pants. Oh my god! Oh my god, I was so close to falling. This is breakfast time / story time, because I need to tell you guys something that happened yesterday when I was trying to sleep. So with me for the breakfast I have Imsdal, which is some water from Norway, which is very nice because on the other side of this lake is Norway. Absolutely delicious. The water they have in Norway on the other side is much better than the water on this side. I also have with me, I got this thing, Cubano 06, no 68. But I have this, I don't know what it is, sandwich, sour cream and onion, vegan oat filling, high fiber, must be good. Okay, before I tell you guys what happened last night, I'm gonna do a taste test. That's the driest shit I've ever eaten. Okay, so you guys saw on the GoPro footage last night that I arrived here and I was all alone. To be honest, I was pretty afraid. There's a lot of weird sounds in a forest like this. And I'm not used to solo camping and I'm not even used to camping. So what I did is I read about a tip online before I arrived, before I did the trip basically, that said that if you're afraid to solo camp, use either, the food is coming out of my mouth when talking. You can use any kind of earbuds, especially with noise cancellation, to just cancel out all the weird sounds. So after laying in the bed trying to sleep for like laying in the tent, it's not a bed. Laying in the tent for about 1 hour, trying to sleep, I couldn't sleep. A lot of weird sounds. So I put in my earbuds with noise cancellation and it did cancel out all the sounds. But then after 20 minutes or so, I heard a noise, a weird noise through the AirPods. The AirPods. The AirPods Pro. So I removed one of them and the noise was still there. So I put out my head through the tent and was like, oh, it's just an airplane. All right, it's just an airplane. I'm fine, I'm fine. But then about an hour or so, I heard the same sound again and I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. I can't be this paranoid for real. But I couldn't withstand the urge to remove one earbud. But this time what I heard was some kind of engine sound coming down the road. It was almost midnight, so it was pitch black outside. But I stuck out my head anyways and I saw lights on the road and I was like, fuck, there is someone coming. I'm screwed, it's over. It's over for... I used my balls and I walked there all the way to the bikes with my flashlight and I said, are you guys camping here as well? They were like, yeah man, we're camping here. I was like, oh, me too. And I was like, I'm camping here solo, so you guys scared the fuck out of me. And they're like, yeah, understandable, I wouldn't camp here solo. So the random thing with this is that they were also from Stockholm and they went from Stockholm today about the same time that I did. So we did exactly the same trip today. And the most shockingly part is they were about my age. which is very random because people that do these adventure trips are not in my age. They are usually 50 years old, which is not something bad, it's just a fact. But they were super kind. They were even like, oh, do you want us to put up our tent closer to yours so you're not afraid? Oh, they must have thought that I was super scared when they came here. But man, for real, I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's not a single soul here. It's super far, no reception or anything. So if they weren't nice to me, I would have been dead. So today we got a lot of riding ahead of us. We're gonna cross the border to Norway today. We're gonna show them IKEA today. I'm gonna leave to Norway now. Come join me if you want to. Otherwise, you could just stay here, do whatever you want. I don't care. These were the bikes belonging to the guys who scared the life out of me last night. I gave them one final goodbye before hopping onto my own bike, ready to tackle the last stretch to Norway. But as soon as I started riding, I realized I was running dangerously low on gas. And to make things worse, I had no idea where the nearest gas station was. I thought for myself, it can't be that far, right? With a bit of blind optimism, I pushed on, hoping I'd come across one soon enough. I had about 40 kilometers to ride before reaching the main road that crosses into Norway. But with my gas running low, I made the decision to take it easy, slow down and go gentle on the throttle. The ruts here really threw me off at first, but overall the roads were manageable, even with a heavy touring bike like this one. I was starting to make peace with the puddles, even though they scared me at first. I had no real experience riding in the rain, except for the few times on the motocross track when I was younger. But I quickly realized that once you're wet, that's when the fun really begins. There's no turning back and no avoiding the rain. It just becomes part of the ride. It's a kind of freedom I've never felt before, and I'm hoping to get more and more comfortable with it as the trip goes on. After a few hours of riding in the rain, it started coming down even harder. And while I had gotten a bit more used to it, I had to pull over to change some of my soaked clothes. Luckily I found a big tree that acted like a giant umbrella, offering some much needed shelter from the downpour. Here I am, stuck in the rain. Nice. It's wet, that's for sure. At this point, I was pretty close to the Norwegian border. But because I didn't fuel up the day before, I ended up having to take the worst detour of my life. I had to ride about 30 kilometers in the opposite direction just to find a gas station. Then I had to turn around and ride all the way back in the rain. Normally this wouldn't be a huge issue, but the cold was really starting to get to me. Funny enough, I ran into the same guys who had camped at the same site as me. They weren't interested in joining me for the ride to Norway because of the weather, but as for me, I had no choice than to keep pushing forward. It was finally time to cross the border into Norway. I kinda expected some fireworks or something, but honestly, I was just happy to be one step closer to the beautiful views that Norway has to offer. This is my first time being in Norway, except that one time I went to Trysil, which kind of doesn't count. So I had heard about the crazy speed cameras in Norway that are pretty much everywhere. There was even one on this gravel road which really threw me off. So why are these speed cameras considered to be the devil's work? Well, the thing about the Norwegian speed cameras is that they aren't like the ones back home in Sweden. These ones can track your average speed over a distance. I mean, that's pretty awful and sneaky. You might think you're good because you slow down near the camera, but if you sped up between two of them, yeah, they'll know. I eventually arrived at the first spot worth seeing. Even though I was wet and cold,
I couldn't pass up the chance to stop and take a look around.
I'm so fucking wet. I'm so fucking dirty. Look at this shit. Yeah. There's, oh my lord. Seriously though, this is so much fun just riding in the rain. As long as you have the proper gear. I mean, I'm not drenched or anything. Just look at this. Wow. Oh. I didn't really expect the luggage and so on to get this dirty. How do I even clean the bag? Like, yeah, I have many questions for you adventure guys. You guys are fucking maniacs, but I am becoming one as well. At this point, I just don't give a fuck, seriously. It's just water, it's just dirt.
This is where the trip took a turn. I was getting completely drenched in rain, and even though my jacket and pants had rain layers, the water still managed to seep through. And to make things worse, the rain reached my phone, which caused my headset to stop working. I didn't realize this at first, so after about an hour of riding, I thought for myself, the GPS hasn't given me any directions in a while. And that's when I stopped and saw that I've been going the wrong way for quite some time. You can probably see how confused I look here trying to figure out where I am and where I'm supposed to be going. Having to turn around and retrace my steps, hitting the same puddles and passing the same trees, really messed with me mentally.
I'm lost again, come on. What is this? Yeah, this ain't right. Fuck.
It was one of those moments where everything feels like it's working against you.
There's only, yeah, there is a road there. All right. Yeah. This is not a good idea.
And it's safe to say, I was starting to lose it.
Guys, if you ain't subscribing yet, please fucking do, man. But seriously though, I ain't going that way because I'm out here alone in basically the wilderness. There's no help for me to get here. So yeah, this was... Then I'll have to take the other one. Now, seriously, where the fuck am I? Oh man, this is brutal. I wanna get back so bad.
At this point, I was getting worried for myself. My hands were slowly turning blue from the cold, and my dry, much warmer gloves were packed down in the hardest possible place to reach. I even started looking at signs for direction since my phone didn't work, so I had to make a decision to not sleep in a tent and find somewhere else to stay for the night.
Okay, I really need to find somewhere to stay. This is getting a bit scary, to be honest. I'm so wet. It's misery. Oh no, I'm not even on the correct road, right? No. So this is the state of the motorcycle at the moment. I got more sand than a motherfucker. Look how much sand is in there. Oh my lord. I'm glad it's not my bike, to be honest. I'm gonna go and check into a cabin tonight because I'm too wet to ever get a tent up. Like seriously. Look, it's dripping. Let's go.
I found a cheap cabin to rent, and I fell asleep hoping that the upcoming days would be better than this one.